Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Larozzi, host, your friend, the coach. Today, I have another great guest, a friend of mine that I've known for what 2, 3 years now on the podcast through the podcast.
Something
The
like
one,
that, yeah.
the one and only Dave Sheahan from beautiful, tropical, sunny Liverpool, England, home of the classic team, Liverpool Football Club. He's a diehard season ticket holder, I believe, and yeah, so listen, we're here today to catch up. And just before going live, we're talking about lifestyle, about choices. And I thought, you know what, Dave, let's stop that and let's record that because that's a beautiful topic. So without any
Yeah.
further ado, Dave, first of all, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, Payman, and great to be here. And I hope I know what we'll share in this conversation will definitely have a positive impact on people. Most importantly, if they implement the kind of things that we speak about. And hopefully some
Absolutely.
of our stories will inspire people too. Yeah, like I'm currently in Liverpool. I'm from Limerick in southwest of Ireland. And the sun is actually shining here in Liverpool. And in these countries, UK and Ireland, you grab the sun when you can because it doesn't happen too often. But yeah,
Absolutely.
today's beautiful and sunny, which is great. And yeah, like I'm excited to be here and excited for what we chat about and share.
Absolutely love that. Let's do that in a moment. But first, for people who don't know you, tell us in a nutshell, in a few sentences, who's Dave? First and foremost, about him as a man and as a human being. And
Right.
then we'll talk about your
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, and that's important point even. Like I always speak to people about the importance of being human. And especially in the world that we live in now, what I've observed, which is sad, but people are becoming less and less human. Now, technology is a big part to play in it, but also people are definitely becoming more self-absorbed and more just focused on being in their own lane. Something as simple as, saying hello to people and smiling, nodding, acknowledging their existence, walking around the street. You rarely get a response now. You nearly get a bewildered look at this stage. But what I always stress, and I always have stressed to my son since he was 3, he's about 20 now, when he used to question, why do you keep saying hello? Why do you keep smiling? I say, look, it's about being human. Be you, be kind. And also, you never know the possible impact of such a small gesture on someone. They may not acknowledge you, but they may feel totally unacknowledged in the world and worthless. But you smiling at them could change the trajectory for the entire day. You won't know about it. And this is where so much of the good things that you can do as a human, you don't actually have to see the results of them. And you shouldn't do looking for something back anyway. But you never know the impact it could have. You can literally stop someone doing something destructive by smiling at them.
Indeed, just a simple hello or how are you doing? How's
Yeah,
when you go at the grocery store, the store, the cashier, read their name and acknowledge them. Hey, Mike. Hey,
yeah.
Mary. How are you doing?
Exactly. Simple stuff. Same as like that. You get good service. The teller actually speaks to you. It's not just transactions. Same in a restaurant to give you extra information. They again have a chat. Acknowledge that because one thing as humans, we thrive on recognition. And like if we take big corporate companies and all where it's nearly trying to get blood out of people, if there was a bit more recognition, people would actually be happier and it'd be more productive and they would be not looking for other options all the time. So even from a company's point of view and a culture, it makes far more sense to treat them again as humans instead of seeing them like just cogs in the wheel or robots. And this is where it's like people like yourself, like myself, other people who lead with their heart. There needs to be more and more of us, and it is infectious. When people start to feel kindness and genuine being a human, they will start to do it more as well. So we all have this role to play, and this is where it's like with speakers or people who are seen as experts and stuff like that. The general masses will kind of, look up type idea. And there's this kind of pedestal kind of thing, as if like, look what they're doing. Oh, I'd love to be like them. Every single human being with a working heartbeat and working lungs can have a positive impact on others. You don't have to be considered an expert or have done anything or order any of that stuff. You can have a positive impact, like I said, just from doing a smile or being in a coffee shop and if you're sitting on your own, someone else sitting on your own, start the conversation. Or like you said in the grocery store, or when you're on travel on subways and buses or whatever, just start speaking. Like we're humans. But technology again has got us so used to just messaging and things all the time. And it's got people very into themselves. We need to bring back the human element.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to add to that, if you notice something on people that stands out, whether a beautiful pair of shoes, or even, for example, me and you will love football, you see someone on the jersey team, just hey, nice team, or thumbs up. For example,
Exactly.
I love
Exactly.
joking
Find the
with
common
people.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that again. If someone has nice like that, it could be shoes, it could be a blouse, it could be a shirt, it could be a funky jacket. It might just be weird, but even just acknowledge it, whatever it is, because people again like recognition. And
Yeah,
anyway, all you want is the icebreaker just to start the conversation. That's why as well, always also search for people who are of the same interest. You mentioned like football. It's like I was actually interviewing someone there yesterday, and that was one thing I spoke about. That like I'm very confident in myself. I've great self-esteem, self-love, which, by the way, is 30 years in the making. It doesn't happen overnight.
oh
I'm working
yes.
on myself for 30 years, right? But I'm very much comfortable with myself. I love my own time. I don't need people. I think it's important not to need people. But what happens with some people is they cross the line from yes, they don't need people, but they then become reclusive at the same time, which is not the right way to go. Don't need, but still you're a social human animal. Like we need social interaction. If you take like for me with football, it's like there's nothing better than being at a match. You're with 60,000 other lunatics. It's like a big family, and like it's such social interaction. You're talking to people you've never met. You're sharing precious moments, celebrating goals, hugging strangers, maybe even kissing strangers if it's a last minute winner. Things like that. We're social beings. We need that interaction. So it's very important to seek out others who are interested in what you do, in
Yes.
your different interests, as well as like-minded people, because that's key as well. Audit your circle regularly, I always say. But it is important to get to a point where you don't need people. Too many
Yes.
people surround themselves with, again, friends, even partners and stuff that they're too afraid to let go of when they actually need to. It's not bad to actually be comfortable in your own skin in your own time, but don't let that also stop you from interacting with others. That's important differentiation.
I would say it's not important. It's essential. It's
Oh,
essential
100%.
because we
100%.
need that. We need to be able to express yourself, and especially in today with everybody so surface level, superficial with AI and all that. How are you doing? The typical office smile, which is a fake smile. Just leave me alone. How are you doing?
Yeah,
Good. Take a moment. Ask a real questions instead of saying "How are you?" Ask what's exciting you today. What's making you get out of bed today?
yeah.
What
And that's a
exciting
really
project you're
important
working
point.
on? Yeah,
Yeah, super important point because if you do actually get a response when you say hi to someone or how are you, it's usually the same responses. I'm grand, I'm okay, not too bad. It's like an automatic response. You're not even thinking about it because it's
yeah.
become automatic. Whereas the important thing then to do is ask another question. Even in like, especially in the world now where mental health is a real issue, like I'm a full believer, mental health should be the same conversation as just general health. We all suffer mental health. It's an area that you need to keep working on all the time. Because you don't have to be, for instance, you need to be taken away in a straitjacket or be on the verge of suicide to have mental health. But that's the narrative that we're fed. Everyone has mental health. Like my son moved to Canada, that day was a tough day for me. My mental health suffered that day. That didn't mean I was suicidal, but I was having a tough day. We all have tough days, we've good days, we've middling days, we've every kind of day. So we need to again have a conversation around that where it's just seen as normal because it is normal.
Absolutely, totally, totally, totally. It's all about at the end of the day, getting back not just the basics, not just the common sense, but to being authentic, speaking from the heart. One of the things I always
Yeah.
tell my students: never speak from a script, don't even speak from here, but speak from here, the heart. Speak from the heart. That's where the people will open up, doors open, wallets open, and everything else in between.
True.
Heart,
Exactly.
heart. It's all back to the heart. So beautiful. So tell us.
People connect with people. It's like you can go to the wallet thing, like from a business point of view, entrepreneur and so on. If you truly focus on just being of good service and doing good, the money's just going to come. Like I've always been like that. I've done what I've been passionate about since I've 17, basically, as we spoke a little about before we come on. And I've 30 years now doing what I love to do and I'm passionate about, and it fills my soul in terms of helping people, making a positive impact, and so on. I've never focused on doing it for money. Money comes because if you're good at something and do it the right way, it comes. You get rewarded. You don't know when it may happen, but it's definitely coming. Whereas I've always seen is those who focus solely on money and everything's about money and penny pinching, or they won't give anything unless they're getting something back. They're imposing a ceiling on themselves. They're putting a huge limit on where they can go. Whereas I fully believe, and I've seen it myself and with others, who are very much like heart led, as we've spoken of, it just comes. You just get to success, you get to money, you get whatever goes with it.
Thank you for bringing that up because my life, my business changed the moment that I made the switch, making a switch from all about being the money, all about me, to all about serving, helping, instead of me. And once I did that, once I built my business around helping, serving, inspiring, empowering, uplifting, I swear to you, that's when things turn around. That's when money started literally and opportunities literally falling from the sky. Like, for example, my TED Talk, I was not looking for it. I was invited to do a talk for a group of entrepreneurs here in Da Nang in Vietnam about podcasting. And attendance was a student from a local university. She told her professor, American professor, we had a coffee together. I shared my story. He told me his story. We connected. And he asked me, hey, why don't you do a TED Talk? You should do a TED Talk. So I would love to. I said, well, guess what? He happens to be one of the judges in the selection committee for the university and for the town for TED Talk. And they were running one last year. And long story short, I was selected. They assigned me an actual public speaking coach. And I have people in my network who charge $10,000, $20,000 US just to coach you how to become an effective speaker, especially on stage, without any guarantee of getting on a stage. So I was kind of hesitant. I was saying, but how much is it? I was kind of, anxious. He said, that's free. I said, excuse me? He said, that's free. I said, okay, what do I need to do? He said, well, send me a 1,000 word essay on the topic in question before May 31st. That was last year. I swear to you, Dave, I don't recall the last time I must have written a 1,000 word essay that fast in my life. I banged it in an hour, like this.
Yeah.
The rest is history. Again, because you put yourself, I was invited to a talk. I wasn't paid. I didn't want to get paid. I just want to inspire.
Yeah.
And then
get the opportunity to make an impact on others.
Yeah, give back. Give back, helping. Giving back doesn't have to be always about money. It can be about inspiration. It can be about a mentorship, leadership, or something as simple as what you shared in the beginning. Just a smile, acknowledging someone. That can give them back hope, that make them feel seen, heard. You can go an entire.
I think it's like what you're touching on there, and with your experience. What's really important, I think, again, especially for entrepreneurs or business owners and so on, is seeing always a bigger picture. Like, not always having to see transaction. Okay, I'm going to do this, which means I'm getting this back, this money back. That's my fee. Whereas, like, you go into that event, you went with the right intention. I'm going there. You get exposure, more people. You have an opportunity to make an impact on all those people. That's a reality. But you're going to make an impact, and who knows who there may open up a door. And that's exactly what happened. The door opened for the TED Talk. So you went there with a good intention. You went there with the right kind of energy. And again, when you put out the right energy into the universe, it always brings it back to you. You just, again, don't know when or in what form, but it will definitely come back. So just concentrate again in giving. And of course, value yourself. Certain situations, you have to value yourself and things like that. But also sometimes just do things for nothing because it's worth it.
Exactly. Like that TED Talk opened up so many things for me. That opened up the door for me to be a speaker at a conference earlier this year in March in Da Nang on entrepreneurship. In attendance was a German entrepreneur, very successful guy. He loved my talk. He's the one that's going to be hosting the conference next week in the Philippines. Much bigger conference, and he asked me to come in and talk there. Again, I'm going there on my own dime. I'm not getting paid. But for me, that's not important. I'm going there for the adventure, the experience, and the people you meet.
Yeah.
And the fun, of
course.
It's
all about contacts. Yeah. It's like, go back to the human thing. We're humans, but also business is all about contacts as well. Doors open when you build more contacts. As who knows who.
What is the saying that all of us on this planet, we're 7 degrees of separation from anyone on this planet? 7 degrees.
Totally, yeah.
You know someone that knows someone that knows Elon Musk, or someone in the royal family, or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where, again, the consistency comes in, and the resilience, not giving up, and just keep going through the steps, keep connecting with people. And if you do realize, okay, this is the chain of people, which is something you can sometimes work out, or to some degree, depending who you want to get to, just who's the next person, will focus on getting that door open. And sometimes that door may open, or door may open where it's the third person separation. You never know. But it's all about momentum and energy. So when you're putting out the right energy, the doors are going to open eventually. It's literally inevitable. That's what's so exciting about life. But this is where managing your emotional state and your energy and your mindset. Like your mind's literally a control tower. And when you break free the kind of chains that can be in your mind, literally things can accelerate so fast, it's truly mind-blowing. I think of when you're in the zone, when you're truly in the zone, things are happening so fast and you don't have any limitations in your mind. There isn't one limitation. You only see straight ahead and it happens fast. The only time things slow down is when you do develop a limitation. And that can happen, especially when you reach new ground, because again, every time there's something new, there's always a bit of fear that comes with it. The challenge then is to destroy that fear and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. I have a question that came to mind while we were speaking. Share with us an example of a time when you, Dave, you did something for someone without expecting anything, but that led up to a connection or an opportunity that took you to the next level in your business, in your life.
Perfect. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, this is a good story actually. This is exactly, especially when I went online. Like I used to run a chain of leisure centers, and I used to do a lot of offline work now for about 12 years, starting my career. And it was brilliant. It was like a monster, and it took off like straight up curve. I was doing so much locally and a good lot nationally in terms of in Ireland and some TV, radio, and all that was great. But I was totally in the dark with online. I had no interest in it. My brain was closed to it. But I had a friend who had got into online for a couple of years, and he kept at me. You could do such amazing work locally, a little bit nationally. You're impacting lives, but you should be doing this globally so you can impact not just a couple of hundred people. It should be thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions. You should need to open up. My brain didn't want to register. I thought, Facebook, forget that crap. I ain't going near that rubbish. But eventually I opened up to it, went to a conference with him, and I got in 5 minutes. But the long and short of it was, I started working online. It's about 17 years or so ago at this stage. And I had some groups myself. And I remember I was a member of a particular group. And it seemed like a good group and good interactions about online marketing and personal development, stuff like that. And I used to engage a lot. I used to, like, again, this is what I was saying, but there's no insignificant actions. Instead of just reading posts and just consuming, I used to comment on them and try add more value. And the owner of the group happened to message me one day, go, hey, I see the way you're engaging. I really like it. And it's kind of unique. Most people don't do that. How would you like to be an admin in my group? I won't be paying you anything, but just be an admin. And I said, yeah, cool. Why not? Because again, bigger picture stuff and just do things and experience, and it's another contact. So I did that. And I used to welcome people, which you'd never done before. Like I did an actual welcome message every new person who joined the group, and did that kind of stuff, kept my commenting going, got engagement going. He says, geez, that's amazing. I love the way you're doing. I love the welcome message. I had this other group. Would you mind doing the same with that? Did that as well, and so on. And then it went from there where he said, look, I've got a huge event happening in London. It's a big online marketing with some of the biggest speakers in the world. I'm looking for people to come and work, like manage the sales desks and stuff like that and take care of the speakers. And I'd love for you to be involved. It'd be a great experience. Again, I'm not going to pay for you. You're going to have to come on your own dime and accommodation, everything. But I can guarantee you it'll be a huge experience for you and you learn a lot. So I again said, cool, I'm there, I'll do it. Went there. It was a great experience. I got to connect with a lot of very high profile speakers who I'm still now in contact with, because I didn't just want to be, I've always believed when you go into a room, be memorable. Something I stress a lot of my clients, be memorable in some positive way, not negative way, not dancing naked on tables. So I went there, connected with speakers. I got to see the sales process on the tables at the back, things like that, like an event. And I got chatting to a guy then who was one of the speakers who was running marketers' cruises and things like that, with some of the top speakers and top marketers in the world. And basically, long shot of it was, when it came to the final push that he had last few tickets for this cruise, I said, okay, effect that, I'm going. I was in the room, I says, look, I'll find some way of getting the money. Booked it. I actually used my, at the time, fathers-in-law credit card, which I still don't know why I had that, but I used it. And I said, like Tim Ferriss to say, ask for forgiveness later. I need to be on this bloody cruise. I went on the cruise, 400 top marketers in the world on it. Unbelievable experiences, contacts, lessons, learnings. And from that, almost straight away after, one of the speakers is very high profile in, say, in the east of the world, let's say, based in Thailand, asked me to come over and work at his workshop. He has an online marketing workshop, and to run fitness events in terms of workouts and things, health seminars, and I could sell my online programs and all from the stage and be there for a whole week-long event. So that was a massive opening for me and got me in contact with other high-profile people from around the world. And also I created a home workout system a few years later, which came from videographers, very high-profile videographers who were on that cruise, who then became my videographers and created the whole product together with me. So the point is, and there's been many other things since then because of the contacts I developed, but it all came from me just commenting on posts in a group. I engaged, I was human, I looked to serve, I looked to add value, not just consume, add value where I could. And what seemed insignificant, look where it went to. And it's paid off so many times since. So never underestimate the power of small actions. And again, like we've said many times, give without expectation of return. Because it's a good energy.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. I love that. I love that. Just hello. You never know the person standing in front of you at a line or behind you at the counter. You never know who that person is. Or at the bar, the next person is next to you. Strike that conversation. You never know. One time in Bangkok, Saturday night playing pool, there was a guy very unassumedly dressed, literally like a wife beater, shorts and flip flops. We're playing pool. Thought it was just some vacationer. And after a game, started talking, and then he introduced himself. He happened to be the vice consul of Bhutan on a night off.
Yeah?
Absolutely, I'm not kidding. The vice consul of Bhutan on a night off, just enjoying himself, just being a human, just being a man.
Yeah.
He gave me his card, said, anytime you want to go to Bhutan or anything about Bhutan, here's my card. And that's how it goes.
But that all came from you just being human. You saw him as just another person.
Exactly.
You yourself. You made an impact. Like you said, make an impression on people. You made an impression. There you go. Not everyone else got the same invite. You got the invite.
Just be friendly. Just say hi. How are you? Nice to meet you. What's your name? And just be friendly. Listen, I've been blessed to have lived in 14 countries and 4 continents. People all over the world, they all want the same thing: to be seen, heard, respected.
Yeah.
And that's it. Doesn't matter. You're white, blue, black, green, purple, doesn't matter.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where it goes back to what we said at the very start: be more human. We need people to become more human because, again, the world's going the other direction.
Yes.
So the tide needs to turn. And it's through these types of podcasts and conversations that hopefully it will. Because even if only 5 people listen to this and they just change their habits, that has that ripple effect. That 5 becomes 20, 100, 1,000, a million, and so on. So this where again goes back to we all have a role. Like even someone just sharing this. The listeners, this is a great message. I need to share this with my friend. You share it with your friend. They share it with someone else. Who knows where it's going to go? Again, all we can ever do is share what we can, share our life experiences. Again, share being human and what that means. Share skills and tips and tools. And it's up to the listeners and what they do with that. But the power again is in your hands to use it for good. And like that, to share it out with other people. So you too can play a role in having a positive impact in people's lives.
Absolutely, because it's all about having an impact, and it's not about numbers. One of my biggest breakthrough was to understand and realize that business is not about the numbers. Sure, numbers matter, but ultimately, it's a relationship nurturing process. We do business with people who like, read, and trust. If me and you, Dave, we didn't get along as man to man, wouldn't talk, let alone consider talking about business.
100%. 100%.
But once you connect, that opens the doors to opportunities and all that. And even more so, high ticket selling, anything over $1,000, pounds, or euros, about one thing and one thing only: trust.
100%.
Now, how do you build that trust? By building rapport. How do you build that rapport? By having heart-to-heart conversation, being authentic, being human, speaking from the heart. And the best place to do so, the best platform, is this. Like me and you having a conversation. You're in Ireland, I'm in Vietnam. It's as if we're sitting across the table. I'm having a coffee, and let's say you're a coffee, a pint, or whatever, and just human to human to man. That's what it boils down to.
That's the huge benefit of tech. Like again, tech has many negatives in the world in terms of the way it's consuming people and making them so reactive and distracting them and so on. But this where it always has a positive. Like everything man creates, it has a positive, but it depends. You use it mainly for positive or use it for the negative. But the positive is that, like that, we literally could be sitting in a coffee shop right now. There is no difference. And also then this conversation, while it's there, and let's say some people overheard it, instead this can go out to God knows how many people, hopefully, over the coming days, weeks, months, years, and decades. and how many people can that possibly impact? And this is again
Yes.
the power of this is where you use technology for good, and this is where things can change really, really fast. So while even some aspects of the world can seem hopeless in many ways, that tide can turn pretty damn fast if enough people start to do the right things. And again, go back to being human, being kind, being of service to people, lead with their hearts, not leading with their money, their mind looking just for money.
I love that you mentioned something that is something very important for me, that is ripple effect. One of my basic principles of branding, on my branding, is 1+1 = 11, not two. Three people coming together is 1 at 11. Four people together is 1,001 at 11. So meaning, if when you and me, when I'm going to be releasing this episode, this episode is not for the world, but for the right person. One thing that you may have said or may have said myself can be the click or whatever you want. Yeah, for them to really get that inspiration idea. If our message can inspire just one person, and that person goes on to inspire another person, and so on and so forth. If every single one of us were to inspire just one person each day, within 30 days, we'll have a completely different, not just world, but different civilization.
Completely. And that's where and take the same principle into each person's own life. So anyone watching or listening to this, you take in your own life and you truly want change. If you do one positive action step every day, that's 365 a year. Now, if you were to do one positive action step for the next 365 days, how different do you think your life will be? It'll be completely different. And that's only one. Not to mind if you take more. And also, that's one small one. What about when you take a lot of small ones, you got momentum, and then you're naturally going to start taking bigger ones because you have more belief in yourself and you have the momentum. So that's where, again, things can happen so fast, but it comes from taking steps, taking action. Like it's like even all that we share, no doubt there's going to be various nuggets people are going to get from what either of us or both of us have said. But the thing is, it's useless unless you do something with it. Like, knowledge is not power. It's the implementation again of knowledge that's power. And that's an important differentiation people need to get, because we do hear all the time knowledge is power. Useless if you don't do anything with it. You know, like how many people go to events at least every month, some even every week, and even the same event over and over. But if they don't do anything with it, to just get hyped, then you go back to normal life, nothing's changing. Where you have to take stuff from it and commit to action, and then go take that action and keep committing to action. Like I always use one particular line to people every time I meet them. It's like, be committed to evolving into a better version of yourself every precious day you have throughout your life. Be committed. Like I said earlier, like I'm 30 years in the making. Like I'm in a good place now, I'm in a good place every way, emotionally, energetically, loving myself, making a lot of impact on people. I'm secure, I'm comfortable, financially, every kind of sense. I'm happy in myself. That's 30 years in the making. But me committed every day, how can I get better in all aspects of life? So if people want true change, they need to have that kind of commitment to themselves first and foremost. And then in doing that, they're going to impact others, even just from other people observing what you're doing and seeing your happiness. And even without speaking, you're giving off good energy, raw energy. People feel your energy and they're impacted by your energy, even if you haven't spoken to them. By speaking and acknowledging, you just add another layer of impact potentially on them.
Absolutely. You mentioned something very powerful, which is the ever consistent, progress. There's a very famous Japanese principle. The thing is called kunai, which is every day you get better. 1%.
Yeah.
The 1% principle.
Kaizen principle.
Kaizen, thank you. Thank you. I was looking for. Yes, thank you. The Kaizen, 1% improvement. And speaking of that, one of the biggest mistakes we all make is to compare ourselves with someone else.
Oh, yeah.
Because you cannot compare your step number 3 to someone's step number 45.
Yeah.
Completely. Because only competition is a version of you of yesterday, like the Dave of yesterday, the payment of yesterday. My goal today, your goal today is to be just 1% better today than yesterday, no matter what it may be. Just one more email, one more DM, one more video, one more just handshake or hellos, whatever it is, just one more push-ups, one more sit-ups, one more kick of the ball, whatever it is, just one more.
That's probably one of the most important messages actually you could give on this particular episode, like, because we live in a world now, like, we're bombarded with comparison. Take everything in school, you're compared, say a student is compared with someone better than them as to why they're not doing so well.
Even more so on social media, that's the word. Yeah.
Even families comparing siblings. Oh, but your sister does it like this. You should be more like your sister. And then you take in every scenario, you take marketing, every product and service out there. It's marketing in a way to make you feel shit in yourself, basically. Like just take beauty products as a perfect example. So you take the beauty product adverts, it's to make women feel terrible as they watch it, going, oh my God, she's so beautiful. I'm so ugly. If I take that, I'm probably going to look more beautiful. So they go out and they buy it. So marketing is purely based on making you feel bad about where you are right now and make you compare to whoever's on the screen and then to become like that. So even go to smoking, sure, and whenever that was 50s, 60s, they always had cowboys or the famous actors and actresses smoking and saying how great it was. And they gave that vibe of this is cool. So people then started smoking because they wanted to be like whoever the person is. I can't think of the names right now. But that's why, again, celebrities are always using these marketing things because people already aspire to be like them. And then they're using a product. They want to have that product as well. So, like simply put, like comparison is a thief of joy. If you live off a life of comparison, you can't be happy. It's impossible. And like you said there, the only comparison that's valuable in life is you against you. And as you said, you today versus you yesterday. In whatever context you want to use that in, you today versus you yesterday is the only comparison that matters. Because it's like, say if we were in the gym and I'm watching you and you're doing just big 50-kilo dumbbell curls, and I'm there with 10 kilos. And look at you going, oh, I'm useless. You might be training for 20 years. I might be only 2 weeks into trying to change my life. They are not comparable. I need to compare, okay, I'm doing 10 kilos today, but a week ago I was only on fives. That's amazing. Whereas you could be doing 50s. You might be doing 50s for the last 3 years. You should be on 55s. So there's no value in comparing to other people. There's only value in comparing you against you. That's it.
Absolutely. Preach, brother, preach. Because again, you're your only competition, not the person next to you. Never compare your step number 3 with someone's step number 35. Great
Yeah.
example you use. The person in the gym that's been working out for 10 years and now is doing 55 kilos with one hand and you can barely do 10.
Yeah.
It's just
Exactly.
even the person is doing 55 effortlessly with one hand, that person started with 10.
Exactly. They have to. Everyone has to start there. Everyone starts at the bottom, no matter what you're doing. But this is why you've compared just to yourself. But it's a society conditioning. Like this is where the challenge is. There's a lot of society conditioning in many, many different forms. And I always say healthy, happy people makes no money. That's why all the industries, they're focused on how to make people stay in a bubble where they're unhealthy, unhappy, because then they're always searching for more, which means they're always looking to spend money on more. That's why people do the lotto. They want their lives to change overnight by doing nothing, just by buying a ticket. People don't want to put the hard work in. That's why the people who are successful are the ones who literally have shown resilience. They've been consistent. When they have hit obstacles and challenges, they find a way around it. When they don't feel like it, which is most of the time, that's the reality for everybody, whether it be business or exercise or whatever, they still do it because it's non-negotiable. So, like, we're conditioned to be looking for the overnight success, the magic blueprint, the magic potion, pill, whatever it might be. There isn't any. It's hard work and graft. It's consistency. Like consistency is the most important word, and develop resilience over time. And this is where we have to break free this kind of conditioning and this social norm where it's seen as okay to be a certain way. If you want more out of life, you're the one that's go out there and get it. The industries don't want it. It's like I always say, even the health and wellness industry, that doesn't have an interest in making you healthy and happy, because if it did, where's the money in it for it then? It can't get any more money. It's like the way there's a constant focus on weight. That still hasn't changed. You focus only on your weight, you're never getting out of that trap, because your weight will not show you what you wanted to show you, yet your efforts and your body shape and your clothes might be reflecting that you're actually making progress. But what the weighing scales are telling you will usually not, and then you give up. So, like, if you're looking at the wrong things as your parameters of success and progress, you're not going to keep going. You're always going to give up and then jump on another horse and then another horse and so on. So we need to break free these kind of societal conditionings, and comparison is one of the biggest ones. Because I said we're bombarded everywhere by it. We experience it through, again, school, college, work, so on. Families, even, as I said, comparing siblings. But also said marketing, and marketing is everywhere. It's on our phones all the time and all social media. It's on TV all the time. It's billboards all the time. People in the streets trying to sell you. Like, there's no escape from it. This way, again, comes back to you. Work on the internal. When you get the internal really strong and truly love yourself and accept who you are and become strong, resilient inside, you do become impenetrable. And like add to that then truly not caring about the opinions of others. Don't let the others people's opinions affect your decisions and your actions. When you have those two, self-love and not caring about the opinions of others, it's literally like a superpower. Then you are truly free, and then you're truly living your life in line with your values, your beliefs, your vision, and what you actually do want out of life.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you. Absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, tell us a little bit about your business and your impact. How are you making the world a better place around you and around the world?
Yeah, like as I said, for about 12 years I worked offline 100% and running gyms and fitness centers and seminars and classes and all kinds of stuff. It was amazing. It was like I loved it. It was a great journey, but it became over consuming because again, managing like 5 centers, 55 staff, traveling a lot, TV, all that stuff is 24/7. That's why I went online. So for the last about 17 years now, what I've been committed to doing is helping people on like a global basis. So I share lots of free content every day across all the social medias. Run my own podcast. I'd be on podcasts like this. I run online and offline workshops and seminars. We have an online community. I work with people on a one-to-one basis. But every day, my commitment is to live my purpose. And for me, I truly do feel my reason for even being here is to make a positive impact on others. And it all stems from my own journey. Like from 7 to 17, I absolutely hated myself. Now, I want to make it clear I didn't have abuse as a kid. I didn't have anything like that. There was no terrible dark story from my childhood. My parents were good parents in fairness, and I had a good home life for the most part. But in my own head, I hated myself. And what made it harder was on the external, I was happy go lucky, I was making people laugh. I got on with everybody. Everyone thought I was just happy out. But internally I was the complete opposite. And then when you have puberty kicking in at 12, 13, 14 or so, and then girls come on the scene and I'm hating myself. You have this script running in your head then of how ugly you are and horrible and making up in my own head what they were thinking, looking at me. And, you know, it was a torturous time for me internally, but as I said, on the external, it was different. And it was just where my life changed completely. And this is where moments matter, is that at 17, a friend of mine who was into the gym kept saying to me, you need to go to gym, you need to go to gym. Just in general, he didn't know anything about how I felt because no one ever knew anything about that until literally about, was it 8 years ago, where at a seminar launch in my last book, I spoke about it. So no one knew the internal struggles to the depths that they were. So he just wanted me to get into exercise and also have a workout buddy. But I resisted, because to me it was like the gym is just a bunch of knucklehead bodybuilders, and here's this puny guy going in. I'm gonna look like a bloody fool. And go back to even the comparison thing. I was more worried about how I'd look and feel compared to others versus it being beneficial to me. But anyway, I eventually decided I'm going to shut this guy up. I'll go once and I'll just not go back again. But at least that shuts him up. And I went and I never came out. And I just felt so empowered by the exercise. I felt energized. Over the course of weeks, I started feeling better in my body. That added to more self-confidence, self-love. And over the years, then that developed more and more where I understood more about psychology, nutrition, sleep, the exercise, all that kind of stuff, personal development, and so on. And that's what gave me then the drive to, you know what, this has impacted me so much. I'm not alone in how I was feeling. I need to use this to help other people. And as we spoke of before we came on, you know, I turned down a gigantic, very lucrative job after university where I'd done my work experience in Luxembourg. And I turned that down to go work in a gym for pennies with potentially no prospects, or apparently no prospects. As I shared with you, I got disowned from my parents. I got pretty much thrown out of the family for making such a crazy decision. Everyone, friends, family, all told me I was mental. I even had to beg the gym to take me on because the gym knew my background. I'd been in there for a year or two before. And the manager said, look, I know you've got a degree, you do this, you do that. You're not interested in doing this. We want people who are kind of interested. And I literally had to beg them and convince them, no, I truly want to do this. I went there for a year, got my basis, started making impact on people, sharing again my knowledge as well as my experience and my passion. And I went from being a nobody in that gym, just a newbie, to taking over all the programs, classes, whatever. But after a year there, I went off on my own and I've been self-employed since. And like I say, people, I was pretty much unemployable. Because again, I have great ideas, I have loads of ideas, visions. There's a lot I want to impact. And when you work, you know, in a job like that, you're limited so much. You know, look, not everyone's self-employed material. Some people are employees, and that's the thing. You have to tune into what's right for you. What was right for me is to be solo and have no reins or chains on me, to be able to go out there and do as much work as I could. So since then, basically, like I've done everything I can to help people. That's why I share so much free content. And it goes back to another thing we were talking about where, again, give unconditionally, just give stuff out, help people. Because especially as business owners a lot of time can be too guarded in their information or knowledge. Because if I give too much, or why would they pay for anything? It's the complete opposite. If you give huge amounts of stuff for free and it impacts people, they're going, my God, I'm getting this for free. What must I get if I pay for it? So it actually incentivizes them to actually definitely pay you money versus if you protect it too much. Again, you're not letting people get a taste of you, a taste of the impact you can give, and to see you as authentic, and see that you're a real person you truly want to help. So, like, I'm dedicated to it. I'll do it to my last breath, pretty much. I don't see that changing. Like, I'm very focused on longevity, my own health and well-being, and like I see myself living a very, very, very long, healthy life, but one where I'll be free, independent. I'll get a bit slower, I'll get even grayer, but I'll still be able to do what I want. And I'm committed to make an impact forever. Because that's what I, again, feel I'm here for.
Amen, brother. Amen. At the end of the day, we're all here for one thing, one of the main things, and that is to help, inspire, empower, and uplift. Speaking of that, I saw one of the most beautiful quotes ever by the legendary Muhammad Ali. He said, being of service is the rent we pay to be on this planet. Let me repeat that. Being of service is the rent we all pay to be on this planet.
Beautiful.
That is
now, wouldn't it be an amazing world if people actually embrace that? Think of the world it would be. And it goes back to what we've said a few times on this. Be human. Just be bloody human. Just acknowledge each other. Say hi, smile, have a conversation. If someone hold the door for someone, that's another thing.
Courteous. Yes.
Like just holding the door. If an elderly person has a suitcase, offer to lift it from. They might still say no because they want to be independent, but at least offer. I mean, just any opportunity you see, and if you look, you'll see many opportunities. Do things to help others, or at least offer. Because as I said, sometimes they won't want you to do it, but they'll be overjoyed that you even offered. Because how many times will they experience that? Sadly, rarely. So just be human. Go out there, and that's beautiful. That quote sums everything up. If the world went by that motto and that mantra, it would be unbelievable. It'd be night and day difference of what it is right now.
Well, if me and you were to just implement those basic things, being human, being of service, and me and you, we can all inspire just one person to do the same, and that person goes on to inspire, and so on and so forth. Within 30 days, we can create a new world.
Completely.
Just for the two of us. You inspire one person, I inspire one, and we just tell them to do the same for just one person. Just pay it forward.
Yeah.
One person.
They call it butterfly effect, I think.
Sorry?
It's something like that. It's like in Japan, a butterfly, it's flutter its wings.
The butterfly.
And it compares something else. It's felt then over, let's say, in the West Coast of America. I know there's something, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. If the wings of a butterfly, say in Chile, are touching each other, can create a hurricane on the other side of the world.
Yeah, it's that type of thing. Yeah. The impacts, it's again cumulative effect.
Everything.
It's like someone with their own health and well-being, or again work, any aspect of your life. If you go back to take a step every day, there's a cumulative effect to that, which completely changes your life.
Because everything is related. We all related. When you help someone, you help everyone. When you hurt someone, when you kill someone, you hurt as if you were hurting or killing everyone. Because we all drops in the same ocean. Literally.
Yeah. Goes back to the energy thing. It's like simple way, because sometimes people think it's a bit woo-woo, the whole energy thing. But this is a very simple way of making it very clear how real it is. For everyone who's listening or watching, think of someone that if you're going to meet them in 1 hour, just for a coffee or something, and how they make you feel. So it'd be some people you can think of and you feel uplifted, you're excited to go meet them. So your energy's already up, your emotional state is up. You haven't even met them yet. When you're about to go in and open that door, you're feeling nearly excited about it. And you go in and you have a great conversation, a few laughs, whatever, you leave, you feel uplifted. The rest of your day is going to be an uplifted day and you're going to take lots of positive action. That's one type. You didn't even meet them in the first place before you met them in terms of your energy was up. Think of the opposite. Someone you're very much on a different wavelength. They're not the same as you at all. They're very negative. They don't think the same way. Totally different beliefs and views on you. But they've been a long time friend, or they're a family member or something like that. And you have to go, and it's like that. You have to meet them in 1 hour. How are you feeling? It's like all you think was, oh, I wish I was doing anything else but this. Your energy's dropping, your emotional state's dropping. The closer you get to the time of literally grabbing the door to go in, you're feeling lower and lower and lower. Then you endure them for, let's say, an hour. You leave feeling so depleted. And then how's the rest of your day going to go unless you somehow can bring up that emotional state? It's going to keep nosediving because you're going to dwell so much on how bad you felt. Because again, low energy, low vibration leads to low activity. Same as high vibration leads to high. So that's, again, go back to where it's the start of each of those. You just know you're going meeting them in 1 hour. One person you're uplifted automatically, the other person you're taken down automatically. That's the proof of how powerful energy is. And this is why, as I said earlier, we're all walking around giving off certain energy. Like, we're literally energy fields. People will feel that energy. So if there's a lot of negativity, let's say 10 times of negativity and fear, everyone's going around feeling that and feeling that anxiety and everything. Again, perfect example, football. Your team scores, 60,000 people celebrating. The energy in that stadium is like, it's like out of body experience.
I lost my voice at the San Siro. I was sick for 2 days.
Yeah,
I lost my voice.
Yeah, exactly. It's like even the first game of the season here, and Chiesa scored an 87-minute winner. Like, it's I've been to hundreds of matches in my life, but the way the game panned out, and with it being Diogo Jota's first, it was the first official tribute match for him in terms of official match since he passed. The energy of that match, the emotional connection of that stadium and the players, the fans, it was one of the top 3 probably experiences of my life. And I've been to finals and all kinds. And it's just the first game of the season, but the way the game went, 87-minute winner, a guy who hasn't scored in a year that everyone wants to see score, it was just unbelievable. But like that energy, you can't but be uplifted by it, but you're around the same energy. Everyone's going through the same energy. So it's an energy ball that's unstoppable,
Yes.
you know?
You know, I love that. But I just want to come back to one thing you said. Let's say you have a coffee with someone and you just uplift them, inspire them. Yes, it's going to be good for them. But you know what's going to be the most beautiful part in all of that? By you uplifting someone, it's going to uplift you too.
Yeah,
You'll feel in a much
100%.
better state of mind. You will
Yeah.
be all pumped
It's
up already.
Totally. It's even go to, again, the smiling at people, right? Even let's look at it from a selfish point of view. If I smile at someone, whether I get a reaction or not, I have to feel better. It's impossible. If they smile back, you feel even better. So just by being a human, you uplift yourself. If you get it reciprocated, you go up another level. And the more times this happens, like dopamine hits, like that's healthy dopamine hits
Yes.
versus just looking for your likes and comments on social media and things, you know? So this is the power we have. This is where, again, things can change so fast and we are in control. This is the thing people need to really grasp. Like, take personal responsibility for your life and all aspects of it. Because it's you. It's like, even people always talk about, oh, there's so much out of my control. But the thing is, you control your reaction to what's out of your control. So you're actually in control always. You're in control of what you're in control of, and you're in control of your reaction to what you're not in control of. So in essence, you're always in control. So if you're going around in a bad mood and nothing's happening and one bad thing after another's happening, you just stop and go, okay, what the hell am I doing here? How can I change the course of this? Because again, think again, when you're on fire and everything's rocking and everything's going the right direction, you're just focused on forward, forward, forward. You don't even think about limitations. There's no obstacles. You're just busting through anything that comes in your way. It's, again, all down to your mindset. Remember, the mind's control tower, and how much you manage your emotional state. That then's interconnected with your energy. So we have control over everything. And again, goes back to what we said a while ago about success and all. Everybody can live the life they want. Everyone can create their visions and make them their live reality. It takes action. But everyone can do that. It's like, look at, even just if you go back to football, take someone like Mo Salah, like, who's now one of the best players in the world, undoubtedly. He had to travel 4.5 hours just to get to training at 7 years of age. I think it was 3 or 4 buses he used to get. That's 4.5 hours today or now. Then he had trained for an hour or two, and then he's 4.5 hours back. That's commitment. And he had lots of knockbacks, like going to Chelsea, didn't work out, went off to Roma and so on. But he didn't give up. He kept going. He kept working through the obstacles. He kept learning lessons. And that's the same for any path, whether it be with your relationships, with your money, with your health, with your professional life. You don't expect to plain sailing. Life isn't meant to be plain sailing. There's no straight lines for anybody, because it's meant to be a roller coaster. But it's how you react to the dips that determines how your life's going to be.
Absolutely. Great example. Love that example of Mo Salah. But Mo Salah is now one of the best athlete, best players in the world, absolutely. But let's keep it to the common people, something that people can really resonate. I'm sure me and you and all of us listening to this, we can relate to a phase of our life, whether you were a teenager or even young adult, going from school to your first job, and you literally have $5, £5 on your wallet, and you have to make a tough decision whether you're going to have lunch or dinner.
Yeah, 100%.
I've been through that. I'm sure. I don't know about you, but most of
Yeah,
us have
yeah,
been through that.
plenty of times.
But I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
not change anything. You know what? And I'm getting goosebumps. I would not change anything.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's where you learned lessons, valuable lessons about life. But again, like if you had instead, if you'd allowed, let's say, let's call it poverty or whatever, let's call that poverty, and you allowed it to define your life, and you created a script in your head that you continue to live off for decades, you'd be in a very, very different place right now. Not just in terms of the way your life looks, but even just emotionally, energetically, all
Yes.
that side of things. So our reactions again in every single moment of our life determines everything. And it's like those times. It's like the way so many people live way beyond their means. We spoke of keeping up with the Joneses before we came on. You know, they're trying to again go back to comparison. They're keeping up with other people. It's all based comparison. You know, you're putting yourself in a hole that's very hard to get out of. Whereas instead of, okay, what can I genuinely afford? What do I want to have? We'll put that in the back burner. What can I do right now? What's the best I can do? Like in with food. Obviously, ideally, everyone will be eating like 100% like raw, organic, the best of the best. Most people can't afford that. What can you afford? Even if for a while it's like canned vegetables or something, or it's very basic soup, whatever. You do what you can, but then let that put fire under you. Take the right action to move from that to the next stage, to the next stage, to the next stage. Whereas people are out there buying 2, 3 coffees a day, and then they say they got no money. It could be five quid a go, 15 quid a day on coffee. Now it's grand if you want to drink coffee, there's nothing wrong with that, but don't be complaining you don't have any money then, because you've loads. That's probably only one example of ways you could save money. So work where you are, deal with that the best you can, but at the same time, do what you need to do to strive to the next level, and the next level, and the next level. Just like you did then. You don't have to worry about that now, but you have to worry about it back then. You need to make the right decisions for you at the time, to not put yourself under more pressure.
I remember days in high school. I had $5 in my wallet, and I had to make a choice between, and by dinner, I mean, it was just a bag of chips and a can of Coke, that and a bus ticket back home. The bag of chips and the soda, whether I would get it after school at 4 o'clock or 10 o'clock after I finish work. That was a daily decision, how to manage, how to handle the money. But you know what? That taught me amazing life skills, budgeting and prioritizing and discipline and so on and so forth.
Yeah, completely. That actually, in my mind now, I'm after getting a memory there. It's not the same, but it's connected the same kind of way, budgeting and so on. Like, I think it was first year in college, myself and 3 friends from college decided to go to France camping. We had 500, it would have been Irish punts at the time, which wasn't a huge amount, but we said to ourselves, we're going to go there and we're going to make this last as long as possible. We're going to go and have an amazing time and party and all that stuff, but we're going to make this 500 last as long as possible. We made it last 4 months, which was unbelievable. And we were drinking every night, but we find like the cheapest bottle of wine. We were eating pasta every day. Pasta where you turn the plate upside down. We have pictures of it. It's stuck to the plate. It was that cheap and starchy. Having salt in rice was a treat. Or there's biscuits called Prince biscuits. It's like shortbread kind of thing with chocolate in the middle. Having one of them was our big treat of the day.
Yeah.
Like, that was like having the most amazing dessert ever. But like that, we lived within our means in that moment. And 100%, we all learned so much from that experience. We learned so much about budgeting, about accepting your reality as it is, and doing the best you can in the moment and survive when you need to survive. And if I think of each of the other 3 and then myself, every person has met a lot out of their life. And it's not insignificant that we had that experience at such a young age.
Absolutely. And also, ironically, at least for me, when I was my lowest financially, was some of the happiest moments of my life. How is that possible? Because society conditions to believe that you need money to be happy. But ultimately, when you step back and you look at it and ask yourself, what is that trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn from this? And what is it trying to tell me? Then you realize that, hey, True happiness comes from within. It's not about money.
Yeah, totally. That's what, like I said earlier, a huge challenge for people and a necessity is to
Yeah.
break free of societal conditioning.
Yeah.
Because if you take things like success, happiness, health, even, society tells us that's what it looks like. And it's usually unattainable. It's not realistic and it's not individual. Because you have your own version of what success means to you. You have your own version of what happiness means to you and what health means to you. Like, I might be happy driving around in a camper van, like truly happy. Camper van, run down camper van, I do it up a bit, and I'll work in the odd hostel or cafe as I travel around the world just to make a few quid survive, and I could not be happier. You might want to run a global company with thousands of staff, have yachts worth 10 million. You might truly want that, not just because you're striving for material to keep up with the Jones. I mean, in your heart, that is you. That's what you want. If that's what you want, that's cool. Those two couldn't be any more opposing, but all that matters is, are you happy and am I happy? And if we are, the box is ticked. So it's very important for people to take time to tune into what does success actually mean to me and what's it look like? And what is happiness? What's that look and feel like to me? And then base your life around that. Because that then is truly living. That's what matters most, especially happiness. That's the biggest one.
Absolutely. Actually, isn't it? I read a while ago that one of the ultimate goals of life is a pursuit of happiness. And I believe it was Michael Jackson when he was in school in grade 3 or 4, he was asked by his teacher, what do you want to become when you grow up? And he just wrote, I want to be happy.
Yeah.
And the teacher said, be more practical, be more realistic. What do you want to become? I want to be happy. I make people happy.
Yeah, yeah.
They thought it was a delusional, a dreamer. Oh, when you grow up, you're going to become more practical. But no, he just stood by it. And at the end of the day, just like you said, the Fortune 10, whatever, big time millionaire, billionaire, at the end of the day, everybody wants one thing, that is to be happy.
Yeah. And the first thing is like that with so many people who have all those things and societal wise, oh, they're so successful, they're not happy because they're not actually living the life that's true to their values and beliefs and what actually is the essence of what makes them happy. And all that striving for power and success and money and all is usually just filling a void. That's why, like the important point, like I was saying about you, if you were wanting a big company and yachts and all, that's only cool if you're happy within yourself. You know, you're truly in love with yourself. Then that's cool. You're going for that because that's what you want. But if it's to fill a void, that's where most people are in trouble. And it's like even going to the happiness, like you said, at your rock bottom is often your happiest. Look at people who live in like shanty towns in like India and lots of places in Africa where they have literally nothing, but they're oblivious to societal conditioning. They don't even know what the hell it is. They don't have any concept of cars or big houses or nothing. But what they do have, they have sense of community. Go back again to being human. They have dinner together. They play together. They do stuff together. They have absolutely nothing. They might just have literally a bit of a sheet of metal, kind of whatever. I can't remember the name of that, but that with a bit of wood just holding it together just as a shelter. That might be all they have. But they can't be any happier because they have family. They're connected to each other as humans. And they don't know any different. So that is happiness for them. That's why they look happy. And people from the West are always baffled when they see these people. They're so happy. It's because they're oblivious to what society tells us success and happiness is, you know. There's not to lose that. It's like children. A child up to about 2 or 3 is always happy. It can't be any other way. It's happy and it believes it can do whatever the hell it wants in life. Anything. It's only from 3 years and so onwards that your environment starts to change that and impact it in a negative sense.
And it doesn't discriminate. You can go play with any other kids.
Exactly.
Color doesn't matter. Put a race
exactly. You don't
and play.
think like that.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, you know, every child is born as a blank canvas. If you take like rapists, murderers, whoever, they became that way based on their environment. Yes, they're terrible people in the moment when these things are going on. But the question should be, why did they become like that?
Yes.
You know, as a child, they were a blank canvas. How does beautiful child, innocent child who carefree, happy, and whatever, turn into that? It's along the journey. The people. That's why you can go back to the people you surround yourself with. They have a huge impact. You know, if you're poor, look at who's around you. If you're wealthy, successful, happy, look who's around you. You know, it makes such a huge difference. So you become, in a massive way, the people you surround yourself in. And if you're in the wrong environment, you need to be strong enough to get out of it.
Absolutely. What's the saying that you're the average of the 5 people you spend more time with? Something like that. If
100%.
you're with 5 fat, lazy, miserable people, guess what? You'll be the sixth one. But if you're with five happy, driven, fit, successful people, you will be the sixth because you realize, hey,
Totally.
you're
Totally.
not many
It's like
different.
even a lot of athletes and celebrities, that have grown up in poor neighborhoods
Yeah,
and they've broken free of it. And it was hard to break free, but they did. And many of their friends are either dead or in jail now, or
crowd
still like
mentality.
trying
Yeah,
to survive in the streets. And this where again it's down to your decisions. But you have to change your environment. You need to change your environment.
absolutely. Get out of that crowd mentality where everybody's trying to bring you down.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Listen, Dave, beautiful conversation. Let's wrap things up. If someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
I'm across all the social media, so just type in my name into Google, even you'll come up with everything that's there. This is Sheahan, is Sheahan, so Dave Sheahan. And if for anybody, if I can be of help to anybody in any way, you've got a question, need advice, you want a sounding board about anything, always feel free to reach out. But as I said earlier on, I share a lot of free content out there, so go out and consume it all over YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of them, stuff everywhere, whatever platforms you're on. And yeah, look, I'm here to serve and I do all I can to help. And I hope this conversation has an impact on, like we said, even just one person and just go out there and take action and your life will start to change.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that. Listen, I salute you truly with the heart. As always, a pleasure talking to you, catching up with you. We'll definitely have to do a part three soon. And I can't wait to
Sure.
actually watch a game with you at the stadium live. It's one of my dreams to go to Anfield, all those big stadium. And who knows, hopefully within two,
Make
three
it
years
happen.
when Milan is back again to being Milan, big European night again. We have some unfinished business.
Exactly. Yeah.
The two
Maybe another
finals.
night. Exactly.
Hey, never two without three. So who knows?
Exactly. Yeah. There needs to be the trilogy.
Oh, absolutely,
We've
absolutely.
won all so far, so you need
But
a
not in
trilogy.
Istanbul, okay? That place is cursed.
Yeah.
Anyways, my friend, have a good one. Talk to you soon. And
You
take
too. Thanks for
care.
having me. Real
Very
pleasure.
welcome. Cheers. Bye bye.